Hello everyone, and welcome to the addendum video for user story number 3114, Agent Reviews and Ratings. My name is Dan Parchment, and I'll be walking you through this video today. So our product owner, Sue Sajadi, suggested that for our agent and review system created by both me and Mark Cameron, that we allow for the average score of reviews to have one decimal point. For example, 4.6. And we would need to show this average score on the review tab as well. So I have just finished implementing that in both the front and back end, and now I'm going to showcase this in action. So I have Breeze Home running in development mode right now in the background, and I'm going to display how this works in action. So right now I'm logged in as a regular user, and we're going to go over to an agent profile. And as you can already see, the review is showcasing that he has a good score. But I'm going to refresh because I was working on this a couple seconds ago and I just removed all the reviews. So it's going to update right now. He's going to have a 0.0. But as you can see, his score is now in decimal. And I'm going to demonstrate that reviews are also the same way. So I'm just going to write a good review right now. So this is a good review. And I'm going to give him a 4.0 out of 5. And then I'm going to submit the review. And as you can see, everything is working just like in the previous video. The only difference is we now have decimal values for our ratings and reviews, and they're all to the nearest tenths place. So now I'm going to log out of this user, and I'm going to log in as another regular user. And we're going to go back to our agent. And you're also going to notice that his profile changed. Now this is normal in most applications that aren't built up to be real time, because reviews can happen in real time, and so the database sometimes doesn't have time to change the value and then send it back in a timely fashion. So it will just refresh itself. You have to refresh the page in order to see the change in ratings. So with that done, let's go to the review page, the review tab, and let's leave a bad review. So this is a bad review. And we're going to leave a score of 1.0. And so I'm going to submit this. It should be good. Yeah, we see our two reviews. We can see that the rating is also in a decimal place as well. And just doing some simple mathematics here, we see that this is going to be a total review score rating of 5.0. And if we get the average of that, that's just 5.0 divided by 2. So we should be getting 2.5 for the rating. So when I refresh the page, let's see if that's what we get. And that's exactly what we see here. So we can see that the rating and review system is working exactly as intended based on Sajadi's suggestions. So I'm going to go over to the code and we're going to basically showcase how this was done. So I'm going to start with the models because these are the things that were mainly changed, or the only things that were changed. So basically in the rating section, this used to be an integer field, but we decided to change it to a float field because Sajadi suggested we do that. And we set the default value to 0.0 instead of just 0. Same for the review model in the score. We just change it to a float field and set the default value to 0.0. Next, for another thing that we changed, but isn't going to be really a viewable thing, is that we changed the post from a char field to a text field. This way we don't have to set a max or min. It will automatically deal with that. So basically you can enter as much text as you want. This will allow for people who want longer reviews or longer bios, because we did the same thing to the agent bio field, to have longer, to basically allow longer posts for those. So they're not limited to 1,000 characters like before. And so I'm going to jump over to the front end now, and we're going to showcase that basically beginning with the agent rating, which is this right here, this button right here, I've set it to return the rating, which is now a decimal value, to a fixed score of 1.0. Now this is a string, it's not displayed as a number, but that's not important for HTML at least, because we're not going to be doing any computations with it, at least for displaying. We do all the computations in the controller. So we do the same thing here for the review. Let me zoom in so you can see that here. We set it to a fixed value of the review score, which is fixing it to the nearest 1th decimal place. And the score is now a decimal, so that is how you get this right here. And now I'm going to showcase how we calculate this in the back and what happens, what we changed. So basically we changed the score's default value to be 0.0, decimal value. And then in here, where is it? Right here. This code right here determines what the value will be. So basically, if the sum is 0, it's just going to display the 0.0 value. But if it is not 0, what we do is we get the average from the sum, because we have a little loop in here that takes a sum, and it just basically gets the sum of all scores. And then we just take the average, which is dividing that sum by the review length, or basically the number of reviews. And we set it to be fixed to the nearest 1/10th place, I should say, 10th place. And normally this is a string, which is bad because we want to do computations on it. So we simply parse it to a float. Then we have a little bit of if logic here, some conditional logic, to determine if the rating should be 5.0 or just the review score. So basically, if the rounded value is less than or equal to 5.0, then we just display the rounded value. Otherwise, we just display 5.0, because if something, for example, is 5.1 or 5.8, just based on average scores and whatnot, let's say something goes wrong, we want to make sure that this stays 5.0, because 5.0 is our maximum value. It's between 0 and 5. So we just round it down to 5.0 if it's higher than 5.0. And that's it, basically. That is how we changed the application to allow for decimal values. So thank you for watching, and I will contact you later.